So Trump campaign manager Kellyanne Conway reacting moments ago to the FBI's decision not to recommend charges for Hillary Clinton. Listen.
I was very clear when this all happened. We would not make the Comey investigation a centerpiece of our messaging. We are asked about it plenty. Mr. Trump talks about it in context of what he's always said, which is if you don't like the rigged, corrupt system, you can't possibly vote for the greatest illustration that we have of that, Hillary Clinton.
Former Arkansas Governor Mike Huckabee, former Republican presidential candidate, Fox News contributor, joins us now with his reaction. How big of an impact does this have 2 days out?
Probably not a lot. You know, I want to say how much respect I have for Doug Schoen, who I thought gave an incredibly candid answer from the standpoint of a Democrat. This is the third time since July that James Comey has injected himself dramatically into the presidential election. At this point, you've had Republicans call for him to step down, Democrats call for him to step down, because he's like, you know, a tennis ball on both sides of the court. My suggestion to James Comey, get a dog. It may be the only friend in Washington that you'll ever have anymore.
I don't know.
I mean, what I think is
his friends change back and forth. You know, I don't know. Governor, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead and continue your point.
No, but I mean, Melissa, I just think he's kind of, you just can't keep switching like that. And the fact that he says that, oh, we've gone through 650,000 emails in just over a week, I doubt that there's any human possibility that can be done, but maybe so. Or perhaps they just turned to Hillary's Filipino maid and said, did you see anything that looks suspicious? And she says, didn't see anything.
Now, Governor.
And off we go. Now, but Melissa, think how ironic this is on the very day that it's discovered that the Filipino maid that Hillary has in her house in Washington had full access to classified materials, made hard copies of them, faxed them, emailed them, with no security clearance. The same day that happens, Comey says, didn't see a thing. Now, I say this is a new TV show in the making called Hoover's Heroes, and Comey will play the part of Sergeant Schultz, whose signature line was, I see nothing. But I just think it's a sad day for the FBI and a sad day for James Comey.
Governor,
does not resolve or clear up Hillary at all.
Yeah, I was watching Democrats as soon as this came out saying that the damage is already done. That, you know, in this period of time between when he released the first letter saying they were reopening it to this point in time where he's giving her once again the all clear, saying that millions of people voted, made up their minds. Today's Sunday. Lots of people have, you know, already decided what they are going to do. What do you think about that?
I hope people don't make their decision about who to vote for based on something James Comey has said in a letter. They need to base it on the fact that Hillary Clinton has a lifetime of corruption, shaking down foreign governments, enriching herself, trading things that ended up getting money to the foundation and favors from the government, including the State Department that she was responsible for, her radical positions on issues like abortion, believing in partial birth abortion. Look, there are many reasons not to vote for Hillary Clinton. I mean, dozens of them. And this one doesn't even need to be factored in. There are many reasons to vote for Donald Trump, and this doesn't need to be factored in as well. So I really don't think that this is the big decision point that people are going to look to as they go into the voting booth, whether it's early voting or voting on Tuesday.
A lot of people said that the change in her lead had to do with three different factors. There was the opening of premiums as people figured out what they were going to be paying for Obamacare. A lot of people said that it had to do with that. No doubt the FBI reopening of the investigation had an impact, but we are also watching all of these things come out through the WikiLeaks. And the point that you mentioned about the foundation were things that we didn't learn through James Comey or the FBI. These were all things that came out through WikiLeaks, with which the Clintons have yet to say, you know, this prove that this is not true and truly deny that the emails are real.
Well, they've never denied the accuracy of the content of the WikiLeaks leaks. What they've said is, oh, it's the Russians. Oh, and Donald Trump, I think he's in collusion with the Russians. That has nothing to do with whether or not the reality is that Hillary Clinton has contempt for most Americans who are not part of her very special elitist linen tablecloth crowd, wine-sipping group that, you know, lives at the top of society. What we find is she thinks people are deplorable, irredeemable, the great unwashed. She has contempt for Catholics and evangelicals who happen to hold deeply held religious convictions about certain things that are been around for thousands of years. and thinks they're crazies. That's what I think is really driving a lot of people's attitudes is finally realizing, Hillary Clinton doesn't really like people like me. I'm not in her world of the Ivy League educated special people. And we're out here standing on hard floors, lifting heavy things, getting dirty and sweating every day to barely make a living. And Hillary has no respect for us. Hold us in contempt. That's why I think people are voting the way they're going to be voting.
Governor, thank you for your time. We appreciate it.